morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to a new week. We have a crazy week, a little bit of crazy week this week. Hope you're all well. I'm so excited about this. Anna is gonna introduce us to many new things about. Ah, hi, Danielle. Okay, now there she is. Good
Hi,
morning.
morning.
Hi,
Hi,
Anna.
how are you?
Good. How are you? How are you doing? Very good. I mean, it's early and bright in the morning. My first coffee, my Gemini
Yeah,
mug. I'm ready.
that's good. Whoa, damn, my tripod is
How's it been
moving. Okay,
on
that's
your
good.
part of the world?
Yeah, it's good. It's daytime here already, so
Oh,
yeah,
so you're ready,
good.
up and
I'm
going.
ready.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I want to welcome Anna again on my live. I'm so happy to have her again. So last time she talked about runes. You can go check it out on my feed. And today she's going to introduce us to something very new and exciting from ancient astrology. I don't know much about ancient astrology, so I'm very excited to hear what is this you want to tell us, because I'm so excited. And yeah, if you don't follow Anna, please go and click. For sure, she has many great astrology and runes and many other content, like very interesting. A little bit different, which I like. Cool.
thanks for that. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah. So
No
yeah,
problem.
today I want to tell you about the heliacal phases of the planets that they
Hmm.
used to
So
use
what is
in
that? So
ancient
what is that?
times. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, heliacal phases is basically the phases that the planets make in relation to the sun. And
Okay.
because in modern times we only have three phases, right? We have the direct motion, the station, and the retrograde, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like
Cool.
now, that's what in modern astrology, that's what we have. So in ancient times, they had three more phases. And the reason for
Wow.
that, yeah. And the reason for that is because what they used to do in ancient times and what we forgot to do today is that they observed the real sky. They
Uh-huh.
actually went out and they looked at the planets. And today we just look at the computer screen. That's it.
Yeah, we do. We have a different approach. Like we look at the seasons, and it's a like
Hmm.
tropical from equator. It's not really. Yeah, that's true. It's a different approach today. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the other three phases that they used to have, and we can still use today, obviously, is
Mm-hmm.
when a planet is a morning star. So that means you can see it in the morning, just before sunrise. Then
Mm-hmm.
when it's an evening star, when you can see it after sunset,
So
and
just like
when a planet
Venus, yeah, Venus just switched, right, from
is
evening to morning,
invisible,
right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to that. It switched. It
Mm-hmm.
actually switched. Well, yeah, before they switch, so a planet can be a morning star, an evening star, and it can be invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
it's very different energy. Um, and different gods and goddesses used to rule these three different phases.
Absolutely. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, and for a planet to switch from morning to evening, it had to go through an invisibility stage.
Mm.
And so that's what Venus just did. And that's what we've been through recently.
So I'm just now curious, because we had this Venus Sun conjunction like it's a Cazimi. So
Yeah.
everybody says that it powers, that Sun gives the planet the power, but the planet is invisible actually. So does it really
Yeah.
give power or not? That's now my question.
Uh, no, it doesn't.
It does.
It burns
Mm-hmm.
the planet. That's where the planet dies.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sun, it has good energy, it gives life to everything on the planet, but if it's too much, it burns.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when it conjuncts the sun, that's when it dies. That's when a planet dies. And then as it starts to move away, it rebirths itself, it gets reborn. reincarnated.
Oh, like a rebirth of a planet on another. Okay, I like that.
Yes. So when it actually gets born again, when it becomes visible again. So that is today, plus minus 1 day.
Woohoo!
Venus, depending on there's different places on the planet where it kind of happens in a different way. And also there's two types of invisibility. There's one where it's retrograde, so it becomes, so it's in front of the sun, becomes invisible. And then there's one when it's behind the sun. When we know about that in modern affairs. But the one which is in front of the sun, it's a shorter cycle. Like for Venus, it's in between 1 to 14 days.
So it means it's closer to Earth, right? It's closer
it's closer to Earth. Yeah, and that cycle is shorter for Venus, at least. And when it's behind the sun, that is a much longer cycle. It's from 2 to 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and then it's kind of similar for all the other planets, but I don't know if you want to discuss all of them or you just want to concentrate on Venus.
No, I want you to tell us, like, if you have a few pointers, like, what does that mean from ancient astrology point of view? Which planets do you use in your practice, and what does it mean when which do you find significant?
So
just Venus,
so these planets is obviously you would only apply that to the visible planets. Like the outer planets, I personally do use them as well in my practice. I think they're important, but they're always invisible. So what that means is just they have a more spiritual quality. Yeah, but that's kind of another topic. And but in terms of the visible planets, they all go through these cycles, these 3 cycles, and obviously they become stationary and they go retrograde, and like you already said. But
interesting thing about Saturn these days is that it's retrograde and it's going to be visible in the sky in the next couple of days as well.
I just saw that video today. That was very interesting.
Because when planets are retrograde, from our point of view, they're closer to Earth and they're more visible to us. For people
that
too.
Is true. So the thing about the invisibility is that usually that was considered to be a challenging thing. So when Venus is invisible, it has the quality of Scorpio because she's in the underworld. And in the ancient times, she was called the goddess Ishtara. And so she was considered to be the goddess of the underworld, and she was also the goddess of magic, healing, and sexual love. But at the same time, it was considered kind of a problematic thing to have in your chart, unless Venus invisible is aspecting Jupiter or the power of fortune.
Oh, okay. So if it's invisible, it's harder to conceive from ancient. Okay, unless it's, you said, connected to Jupiter or part of fortune. Okay, cool.
Part of fortune, yeah. It's not just to conceive. It's kind of it can create problems in relationships and also problems with money, like anything to do with Venus.
Okay, everything, all the topics Venus. Okay, Venus related. Sounds good.
And so when Venus gets reborn as a morning star, she is Ishtara of Akkad. So this is kind of like goddess of war. Like the archetype of the Amazon.
I get it. Okay, like an Amazon warrior.
Yeah, the more independent kind of woman, if it's in a woman's part. So
more assertive, I would say, like a more assertive Venus, the morning.
Yeah, and it's in terms of the signs, it's associated with Leo, the sign of Leo. I can even show you.
And how can we find out if we were born during the morning or the evening star? How can we know that? Like,
So
where do we
you
see
look
it?
at the chart.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the chart, and you see like if it's a day chart, the sun is on top. Then if
Mm-hmm.
you look to the if Venus is to the right, that means it's a morning star. And if she's to the left of the sun, then she's an evening star. And then if it's a night chart, so the sun is at the bottom, it's the other way
Okay.
around. So when Venus is in front of the sun, she's the morning star because that's
Nice.
why she's visible in the morning before the sun rises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think I have an evening star definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is with Venus morning star is that people with her, they tend to open up to Venusian things early on in life. Like they tend to get married earlier, they tend to have children earlier. They
Oh,
tend
if
to
she's
get,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so early in
Interesting.
life. And then people with Venus as an evening star, they tend to do that later in life. And
Makes sense.
yeah, and it's more the Venus evening star is Aphrodite, so it's more
Mm-hmm.
it's also more like a traditional feminine kind of art.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who allows the partner to is more comfortable with the partner leading them, like that kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see. My husband's gonna be happy now that he knows this fact. Okay. We would
Yeah,
dance
and that is the
parties, isn't
archetype
that?
of Taurus.
Okay.
Venus evening star is the archetype of Taurus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like more receptive and the morning is more assertive. Okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say, okay, so you always look in a correlation where the planet is according to the sun position in the chart, right? Do you look at the
Yeah.
ascendant, like what is rising on the ascendant, or no? Or just in a position of a sun?
You mean to tell whether it's a morning or evening star?
Yeah. Planet
Uh,
or something.
it doesn't, no, it doesn't depend on the ascendant. It depends like
Okay.
if you have a day chart, you were born in the day, the sun is going to be on top of the chart. So you would look where Venus is in relation to that because the sun rises from the ascendant, then it goes to the
Yes.
MC, and then it sets at the DC. That's why you have to look what is in front of the sun if it's a day chart, and then if it's a night chart, you kind of go the other way.
So would you look for all the planets like that? Would you look for
Yeah,
all of them in
yeah,
front of
all of them.
the same principle?
Yeah, you look for all of them. But the only thing is that you cannot tell with normal software whether you have Venus invisible or whether you have a planet invisible, unless it's a very direct conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a 5-degree conjunction or like 2 or 3 degree conjunction, then it's definitely invisible. But if it's a bit further away, you cannot tell with modern software. You need special software.
Yeah. There's a special software for ancient astrology. I've seen some of the
Yeah.
astrologers using that.
So you need that software, or you need to go out and you need to watch the sky yourself. But
Yeah,
you
which
can't do
is
that when you were born. So so you need to do
yeah.
it. So that's why you need the software.
Oh, that's interesting. I know Venus is very, in the news these days because she's retrograde and all these things happening, and Venus star point was and everything. So this is an extra layer of knowledge about Venus, which I really appreciate. It's interesting. Um, so what about other planets? What about Mars? Well, Mars is like a contra of Venus. So what about Mars?
Yeah.
If
Well,
he's an
actually, I'll
evening
start
or
with
morning?
Mercury just to get it over with.
Okay, yeah, please. Oh
Mercury
yeah,
is
sure.
actually visible for most of the year. So most
Mm-hmm.
people have Mercury invisible in their chart because it's so close to the sun. And Mercury only becomes visible for about a month, in a year. And it's also can be a morning star, which is Apollo, the archetype of the god Apollo. Um, and that is more associated with art and kind of like intuition. And then it can also be the evening star, which is Hermes, and that's more logic and intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it's very rare to have Mercury visible in your chart. And if it is, it does show usually quite exceptional intelligence and
Wow.
ability
Yeah.
to process a lot of information. Yeah, but like I said, most people do have it invisible, and that's not a problem. That's not considered as problematic.
Okay.
So, yeah, and so, but with planets like Saturn and Mars, they become more malefic when they are invisible. Especially Mars becomes very unpredictable when it's invisible, and it predisposes can predispose people to accidents, problems with police, like different type of martial things like fights, all these kind of things to do with the
So
negative.
you would say we would be more argumentative, or more prone to fighting, you know, or
Yes,
even
yes,
physical.
definitely.
Is it physical abuse? Let's say I don't want to mention, but it can be that
Yeah,
if it's placed very
yeah,
badly, right?
yes, definitely, yeah. So, and with Saturn as well, I have seen invisible Saturn create kind of problems with the father figure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because Saturn visible, he's like the in ancient Babylon, he was the god of thunder. So he can bring out storms. So it's also kind of a difficult energy as well.
Yeah, but
Uh, yeah,
hard authority, and you know, and then I can imagine it's usually
yeah, yeah.
about like a restriction, like a very authoritative person, like who would restrict you or to do something like that, like as a father figure or any other types of authority, right? It doesn't have to be just father, or like maybe
Well,
the government.
it can be an absent. It can be
Mhm.
like an absent father as well.
Or if it's
So it's
invisible.
absent
Oh,
because
okay.
it's invisible. Yeah, and that's another thing
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention is that by transit, when a planet goes invisible, it was always a bad omen, and when it goes visible, it's a good omen. So it's good to watch where in your chart a planet goes visible, and then where it goes invisible. It can show what's going to happen in the month.
Oh, so when it changes the visibility. So what
Yeah,
do we have currently in the sky? I'm just curious. What do we have currently? What is Saturn now? It's going to be visible, so it's in the visible side, or no?
Saturn
From ancient perspective.
is visible, I think, in most of the world, at least in the northern hemisphere, as
Oh,
far as
that's
I know. Yeah,
nice. So that
yeah,
means that the energy is uh, less strict, let's say. So you have more freedom.
yeah, yeah. More freedom. Yeah. It's also retrograde, so that's actually not a bad thing in ancient astrology. But if
Okay.
it goes, for example, if it goes invisible somewhere in your, let's say, seventh house or in some house, then an older person can, for example, disappear from your life, something like that.
Wow.
Or if you
Awesome.
have like an
That's
older
great.
boyfriend, he might disappear from your life. If it's like on your Venus or in the seventh house or something like that.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, what about Jupiter? Am I switching? I'm all like in my Gemini brain, but what about Jupiter is kind of a good guy. So what happens when he's invisible?
Yeah. Also not the best. Also not the best.
Not the best, right?
Yeah. So in ancient Babylon, invisible Jupiter was associated with the goddess Tiamat, which is the dragon of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so invisible Jupiter can bring chaotic things in your life. And it's just, yeah, it can create problems. It's just less luck, less problems with morality, like these type of things. Yeah.
So in some people, I know that you know, when you have you know, Jupiter should be kind of a good thing and you know, fortunate, but that doesn't work for everybody. So maybe it's because of this visibility thing. I'm not,
Yeah,
you know, in my
it's
mind.
because of the visibility and also depends on which house it is. So it's weak in the 12th and in the 6th houses and in the third house as well. Mentioned earlier. Unless there's if it's in the 6th house, if there's a planet like the sun in the 10th, then it brings it out. stuff like that, or if it's affecting the fortune as well. Yeah.
So it has to have some other good conditions to be
Yeah,
favorable.
or also if you have a planet which is invisible in your birth chart, then by progression, at some point it becomes visible. And then when this happens, good things start to happen in that area of life which that planet rules. So
Wow.
that,
Now I want to get that software and just just research visibility in my chart.
yeah, you
Yeah.
should. Yeah, it's called Placidus. Placidus 7.
Okay. And then you will. Which software do you use? Just if people are
Yeah,
interested
that
and want
one.
to get it. The
Yeah, it's
Placidus.
called Placidus 7. Yeah,
Placidus 7. Okay. 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 We'll Google online and we'll find. Very interested. Very interested. So
you
if
get
it's
it
a
from
Jupiter.
Rumen Kolev is the guy who developed the software.
Okay, cool. You
Yeah,
can later when I post this, can you just write it down in the comments so we can refer, people can refer
sure,
and see.
sure.
I
Yeah, but it's
appreciate
not
it.
easy to use. But yeah, you can get the tutorial, which don't have to, yeah.
To be honest, solar fire is not that easy to use either, but you know, you kind of wiggle it.
You can, yeah. It
Yeah,
depends on how bad you want to do it. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. That's interesting. So if Jupiter is visible and he's good and visible, would that mean that this person is extra lucky or fortunate in their lives?
Yes, yes, definitely. But it depends
Cool.
what the malefics are doing as well. What is Saturn doing? What is
So
not doing?
you have to
Um,
look at them to.
yeah, so in ancient astrology, the planets which are on the top of the chart, especially
Mm-hmm.
conjunct the ascendant and the MC, these are the stronger planets.
Mm-hmm.
So if Jupiter is, ideally you would have just Jupiter and Venus on the top, and then would
Well,
have
let's see.
Saturn and
To
Mars
be honest,
below.
okay, to be honest, I have Venus and Jupiter together. Like this is like a
Oh,
quadrant, a quadrant. Okay, in a whole sign. Do you use whole sign? What do you use? Which house systems do you use?
yeah,
Or it's just
you
special?
have to use whole sign for ancient astrology. Yeah.
Okay, so for whole signs, I have this in the 10th, in the 11th house together,
Mhm.
Jupiter and Venus, and then Mars and Saturn conjunction in the 12th in the whole
Ah,
sign. But they're
well, that's
together.
not bad. That's
Like,
actually good because Saturn is good in the 12th house. Mars is not.
but they're good. I'm just saying I have benefics together and malefics together, as you Asians say. So like I have them together, both of them, which is funny.
Yeah,
So
I have Mars and Saturn together as well
yeah,
in
yeah,
in the fifth house.
it's
Yeah.
interesting energy, I would say. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just
Well,
interesting.
it's good. It makes you
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, that's true. It makes you
Yeah, yeah.
makes you work. So that's cool. So you use the whole sign, and there's a specific. I think. Okay. So
Yeah.
which planet we didn't mention? We mentioned Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. We didn't.
No, we
You said
talked about
Mars.
Mars. We talked about
We
Mars.
did.
So
See my.
it can create accidents and physical
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
confrontation, arguments. Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, you
But
did.
sorry,
So
I wanted
somebody.
to ask you, is your Saturn and Jupiter, so are those two conjunctions, do they have an aspect in your chart?
No. So I have a. No, there will be like semi-sextile. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's like because
because 11th and 12th, right?
yeah. So
There's,
I have this
oh yeah, there's no
Jupiter.
aspect, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Jupiter, Venus in Cancer, and I have Mars and Saturn in Leo.
Mm.
Yeah.
Still good
Anyway,
though. Still not bad.
yeah. No,
Hmm.
it's not bad. I think I have a pretty good chart. Okay, so somebody says I have Mars and Venus conjunct in the 12th. So yeah. So what about if a malefic planet and a benefic are together, and there
Um,
are maybe
yeah,
are they both visible or both invisible, or it doesn't matter if they're together?
it matters. It does.
I does.
So
Okay, okay.
the
That's right.
invisible
Okay.
planets are weaker. They're always weaker
Okay, okay.
than the
So,
visible ones because they're in the
so in
underworld.
this So, okay, for example, if this in this case Venus, if they're conjunct, does that
Yeah.
make them both visible or both invisible, or one can be visible, other can be
Usually, oh yeah, a
invisible?
good point. Usually they're both invisible. Yeah. If one is invisible, usually, they're both invisible, but it can vary because
Okay.
there can be exceptions to that. So don't quote me on that. But usually, yeah, they would both be invisible in most cases.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
it would explain my Jupiter doesn't do anything in my chart very luckily. I probably is invisible with Venus there.
But I
I'm
thought you
just,
got a
just thinking.
reading. I thought you got an ancient astrology reading. They didn't tell you.
I did. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but I'm just thinking this is like another layer.
Oh, okay.
The astrology test reading, you can always go back and reread and what you heard. I know he said something about this. My Venus is not visible for sure. I know that. Anyway, I know that for sure. Venus is
Okay.
also my chart ruler. Okay, so what if the Venus? Okay, so what if the chart ruler is invisible or visible? What does that mean? Or does it matter in ancient astrology? The ascendant. I think it does, right?
So but in modern astrology, your ascendant ruler automatically becomes your chart ruler. But in
Mm-hmm.
ancient astrology, it's not like that. It's more
Okay.
complex.
Yeah, yeah. I know
It's more complex.
because you look at.
Actually, what is on the MC can be the chart ruler. For example, I have Venus on the MC, and that is my chart.
Mm.
That is my chart ruler because that's my strongest planet. So
Oh,
in ancient astrology, there's other factors other calculations that we do to determine what is the chart ruler.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that reading I got. It was really good, but it was so different that I had to make another notes about this because it's different, right? It looks at the fixed stars as well and
Yeah.
other constellations and what is happening, and
Oh yeah,
it
yeah.
was
It's the whole world.
yeah, it's a total different world. Like it's a different
Yeah.
type of reading. So I would recommend highly. Do you do readings as well for ancient
Yes,
astrology?
yes.
Yeah,
I've
cool.
started now to do readings, yeah, because I did my course last month. So yeah, now I'm qualified to
Awesome.
do readings.
Yeah, that's cool. But congratulations, that's amazing. Yeah, so book Anna, and she will tell you more. That's amazing. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's really it gives you like a story. Yeah, it gives you like a different like a when I thought this is like a story from my past, like something that it's how I felt. Like, oh, this is like something that like a dream coming alive.
Hmm.
Like something like that's how I felt the whole thing.
It
Um,
just
I,
gives a lot of deeper layers than modern
yeah.
astrology. Like modern astrology is not wrong, but it's just once you start to do this, like you just go so much deeper, and yeah, there's no other way you can do that with anything else.
Yeah, this is I think it gives you another layer of understanding yourself and your powers, let's say. And what
Yes, yes, yes.
what your powers are not. So in that
Yeah,
kind of
because you
way.
also
So
go
that's
into degrees, different degrees. Also, there's different areas, like every sign, because it's a different animal or like a different species. There's different like areas as well, which represent different things. So it's like it just has a lot of that, really.
so were you a priestess in your previous lives? Because I feel you did. Like with all this, you're so interesting in this occult knowledge in a very different approach. I think you must have something.
That's because I have my ascendant between the horns of Taurus, which is which is considered to be the area of Isis, the goddess Isis.
Yes,
So this is
yes.
like I'm interested in very ancient sacred knowledge.
I have Moon and Mercury there, I think.
Well,
Yes.
okay, yeah. So see?
Yeah,
And
I
also
think that's what it
I
is.
have
And
my moon in Virgo, and I think you have your ascendant. So that is
oh, okay.
so in Babylon, Virgo was the deity called Vishaba. So it was actually the deity which ruled astrology and
Oh, yes.
also herbs and healing in general. But
I
it's the deity
remember
of
now.
astrology.
Is there some kind of an angel with the wings in the
Yes,
Virgo constellation there?
yes,
Yes,
an angel.
that's on
Yeah,
my ascendant. That wing little. No, I didn't.
yeah.
So
But
it
in
was funny. It was like,
Babylon,
oh, I have an angel.
Virgo actually ruled astrology. So that's why even you see like nowadays a lot of people with Virgo placements they're very interested in astrology.
But then, yes, I have many of people I talk to that have Virgo moons or Virgo risings
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
suns, not Virgo suns, I would say, but more of other placements like risings or moons more than suns.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just
Rising
yeah,
or
interesting.
moon or Mercury, something like that.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, even today Virgo is associated with alchemy and and which is also kind of a
Yeah,
a
yeah. It's the
cult, not
priest. It's the
right?
priestess archetype.
Herbalism. Yeah, herbalism, alchemy, pharmacy, like this is all part of that, ancient, the way they're healed back in the days when there was no medicine, right? So Virgo is a doctor and a healer. Like even today, you can relate to that in a modern way. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
there
This is
was
this
medicine, but it just was on a different level. So, yeah.
this is very cool. So you can also apply this to transits and progressions, right? So this visibility and invisibility of planets.
Yes, yes. It gives you a lot of insight when you apply it to progression. Yes,
In the
exactly.
forecasting techniques. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to see
yeah.
happening. Okay, cool. It's amazing. Is there anything else we didn't mention that you want to say?
Um, so by transit also it's good like to know when a planet goes visible because you know that the general energy improves. So like this month Venus is going visible, so everything related to Venus is gonna go better now. And then next month Mercury becomes visible for 2 weeks. And this is when it's good
Wow.
like to launch a business or like a website or anything to do with Mercury. And for 2 weeks, it'll be visible, and it's just a really good time for that. So that's why
So
also it's a good time to know that.
so even if it's retrograde, it's gonna be visible, so it's good.
This will be after the retrograde. This will be around
After,
the
okay,
17th,
okay.
18th of September when it goes visible as the morning star, Apollo. It will be for around 2 weeks. And this is going to be really good for mercurial things.
That's a great tip, Anna. Like everybody, this is really good because,
Yes,
as you said, Mercury is very rarely visible. So to
very
have like it
rarely.
upcoming soon, use
Yes.
so second half of September, use it well for business. What else you say?
So to launch a business, a website, to, I don't know, start writing a book or anything mercurial really. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, now this is very good. So
To
I'm
record a
excited about that.
video, to start your own YouTube channel, like anything like that.
Yeah, everything mercurial. So if you want to sign some contracts or anything,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's much
awesome.
more likely to go well.
Wow, and this is very rare. So guys, use this.
Yes.
This is great tip, Anna. This is amazing. Yeah, this is exclusively for you. Nobody knows. This is very, it's ancient secret, as I
Very
said.
ancient
Anna's
knowledge,
gonna
very
tell us
secret
some
knowledge.
ancient secrets. Yeah, cool. Cool. So what else is happening in the sky in this moment? So Venus is going to be good. So
Mhm.
September looks good. Like it's very potent month. We should use it well, right? You
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say in September.
Especially after the Mercury retrograde is
Mm-hmm.
over. Yeah, and then Mercury goes visible, and then actually I haven't looked too far into the future, but yeah, maybe we can
No, this is just for
have a
research.
look at that.
Yeah. No, no.
Yeah,
Yeah. I encourage everybody to actually get a reading into I didn't get a forecasting reading, so
yeah,
that's actually now interesting to understand. Actually, to see transit
yeah,
and progression,
yeah,
ancient
definitely.
astrology chart. That would be.
Also Mars will be invisible until next May next year. So Mars is invisible now, and it's for
Uh-huh.
for a very long time. I think it went invisible in was it June or May, I can't remember, something like that. And it's going to be visible until all the way like next year, May. So
So that means more accidents, more wars, more fighting. Is that in general, like in global way? Would you say
yeah,
there's going to
yeah.
be more
So we need to be careful. We need to be careful with Mars-related things, and yeah,
cars, traveling, like cars,
yes,
machines? What else? Yeah,
yes, yes. Any physical activities, not to overexert yourself.
Oh yeah.
Not to
Injuries,
launch any
injuries.
business which is Mars related.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. Oh, cool. So we can do Venusian and Mercurial things, which I like. Anyway, so
Yeah.
cool. So
Mhm.
many, the knowledge of astrology is just always blows my mind. It's, there's layers and layers of understanding.
So many
So many
layers.
things.
So many layers. Yeah. And also with the fixed stars,
Oh, yes.
when I analyze the fixed stars, they also have a nature of different planets.
Okay.
So some stars, like
Mm-hmm.
for example, I don't know, Aldebaran has the nature of Mars and Venus. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
one of those planets there, it makes that planet 10 times stronger.
Oh, wow. I know we are now approaching Regulus in a couple of days. The sun is
Yeah,
going
the
to go
sun is
there.
approaching Regulus. Yes, yes.
So,
But the only problem is that that's a very good thing because Regulus is like the star of one of the stars of success and fame and wealth. And but the only problem is that Saturn is kind of still opposing it,
oh,
and
yes.
uh,
That's
it's also
that's one of the
squaring the
first
other star
aspects.
of wealth. Yeah, it's also squaring the other star of wealth, which is Aldebaran. So that's like for another, I think, 1 or 2 years. But otherwise, it's good. Yeah, very good. When the
Yeah,
sun conjunct
yeah, yeah,
Regulus.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. See, we have to guys fix stars is another story, and there. Anyway, I talked about it with Rod as well. So, but there's so many fixed stars. You have to kind of figure out which ones apply to you, and otherwise you get lost in translation. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
you just
lot of
look at
things.
the main points of your chart, and you look at which planets, if your planets are conjunct in your chart. You don't have to
I
look
have
at all the other.
I know I have Beetlejuice on my midheaven.
Oh,
That's
oh,
kind of
okay.
they tell me it's good. So okay, we'll see.
That's very good. Yeah. Do you have a date? You have a date chart, right? Or not chart?
Yes, yes. My son in the whole sign is in the 10th and the quadrant in the 9th
Ah,
because I have
yeah,
a last day.
that's the date chart.
Yeah, I have a last degree of Virgo rising, so everything switches from whole sign to quadrant houses. My whole chart switches the houses.
Hmm.
So like a true Gemini, I have like kind of two charts. Double.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think Betelgeuse is Mars and Mercury. So it can be a bit mixed, but it makes one very brave, can be brave and intelligent, if
But
I'm
also
not mistaken.
can be too bold and not think through and just go without thinking as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say because in a day chart, Mars is a bit more malefic, so
Yeah,
um, that's why
yeah,
it can sometimes cause a bit of problems. So, yeah.
yeah. That's why you have to look at the whole chart. You can't just say, "Oh, this is good, this is bad." You have to figure out because I have a lot of Gemini placements. I know that my Gemini energy influences other stuff, right? So it can
Yeah,
go this way or that way.
yeah. And also in ancient astrology, you would look at so the day or the night chart is very important because certain planets become more problematic during the day and then others during the night,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where they are. So, so the day planets um, sorry, the night planets are the Moon, Venus, and Mars. So they
Mm-hmm.
exhibit more positive qualities during the night. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other ones, which is Jupiter, Saturn, and what is the other one? Mercury.
Mm.
So they have more positive planets during the day.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
more
yes.
positive qualities during the day. Yeah.
Now,
So
for
it's
me, it's so
important to look at
interesting.
that as well.
I'm just thinking, I have like Mercury and Moon conjunction, which is one day, one night. And then I have
Yeah.
Venus and Jupiter, one day, one night. I have Mercury and I have Mars and Saturn, one day, one night. Like I have them together.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very interesting. Cool. Well, I think this was very informative. Guys, if you want to learn more, contact Anna. I know there's more to dig in, but I just wanted to give people like a glance of this new way of looking at things, which I love. And as you said, encourage people to go outside and look at the stars themselves. So that's also very important,
Yes,
right?
yes.
A little bit of astronomy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have a chance, get out of the cities, go to nature when there is no city lights, so you can actually observe the stars. And
I
that
do it
will be my
in the
recommendation.
city. I still do it in the city. But yeah, you can when you go to the countryside, it's much more powerful. I can see from it.
Right?
You can
Yeah.
do it
Yeah. I
anywhere.
feel it.
You can do it
Oh,
anywhere.
see, there you go. So Anna encourages you to go anywhere and look at the stars. Uh, do you have any
Oh
last
yeah.
thoughts or
Yeah. No, just yeah. Ancient astrology is just like yeah. It just gives so many extra layers, and yeah. I just encourage you um
more?
to explore. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, Anna. I know you're busy, and I appreciate your knowledge and insights and everything. I really, really love learning about astrology, and this is just amazing. So thank you very much for coming
Thank you for
again. Yeah,
having me.
this is
Thanks.
no problem. Yeah, and thank everybody for joining, and see you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.